revenue and income from working with you and your business. Yes, and I think that is a good opportunity to invest not only Vietnamese people. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very possessive. Yes,
Right.
potential very
Right.
good.
Right.
And I think that for Vietnamese investor, they need not only about the opportunity to work with Robert here, but Vietnamese investor doesn't they don't understanding about American market. They don't understand about the US law, and that's why they need help from Miss Wilka. Nice to meet you, and thank you so much for being here with us. Yes.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, I know that your company is very famous because you have experience to work and to serve hundreds of clients, and most of clients they have ability, they have demand for visa and green card. So why you think that the company of Robert can help us, and why you choose Robert?
Thank you. I'm a U.S. licensed attorney. I have a law firm in Houston, Texas called Toppins Law Firm. I have 6 attorneys that work for me, and we offer corporate law and immigration law, U.S. immigration law services. I am here touring Vietnam for the 7th time. I've been in this country 7 times. I enjoy it very much. I've represented Vietnamese investors before, worked with them and have approvals, both EB-5, visa, green cards, as well as other visas. But I'm here with Robert and our team because I believe very strongly that Robert's project is a great project for EB-5 and even a greater project for L1 visa, 2 different types of visas, which I will explain in a minute. But I wouldn't be here supporting the project if I didn't think legally that it works for the visa very well as is a good business to invest from a corporate lawyer analysis. Because I represent the investor. I'm good friends with Robert and the team. I support them in these activities to explain the legal aspect of the investment. But I would always represent the investor. That's my client, right? So I'm interested in supporting Robert and his project because it is good for the visa and it's a good business. 2 elements, very important.
Yeah, I think that's for the investor, they have to understand clearly about your choice, about why you support Robert, and also about the company with Robert too. But let me make a question that today I see beside you have beautiful girl.
I do.
And you know what? Actually, Wilka Law Firm, they all beautiful. You have to go on their website and check. Only women.
All women.
They're
law firm.
gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
From all of the.
Side note for everybody.
Yeah. It's a very diverse group. We have U.S. People. We have Mexican background. We have Lebanese. We have Indian. We're missing Vietnamese, but now we have Vietnamese. Another beautiful woman.
Yes, I'm very interested with her because I feel quite surprised that beside you have a Vietnamese girl and she's very beautiful. And for the Vietnamese man investor, you have to take note that in Wilka office we have many wonderful and beautiful girls.
We're lucky. I was interested in looking for a partner in Vietnam, a lawyer, successful lawyer, to help me do a better job for the Vietnamese investor. Sometimes it's difficult for outside from Vietnam to understand the Vietnamese culture, the Vietnamese documents, the legal process, the language. I don't speak Vietnamese. Like to, but I don't. And we're presenting a very important documents to the U.S. government for approval. And I need to make sure that what I'm presenting is correct, is good documents, and they're legal documents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I need a partner in Vietnam to support me, to support the investor. So I reached out to my friend Kathy, who invited me to Vietnam, and she introduced me to a wonderful attorney, Miss Amy Lay. Sorry, I misspelled her name. Amy Lay, and we've made an agreement that she will support me in Vietnam, being a lawyer in Vietnam, successful lawyer with a successful law firm. She will support me in supporting the investor. And that for me, it's an incredible help, because now I don't have to worry, am I understanding the investor? Is he understanding me? I can communicate better, faster, I can move faster, and I can get good documents from Amy's office. And the investor feels that they can work with somebody that they understand each other. Sometimes these visas can be complicated, and the evidence, the proof, it's not easy to obtain. Sometimes the investor doesn't understand why I need something. Why do you ask me for that document? Well, I just work with Amy and her law firm, and she can explain it in a way the investor understands.
Trong vòng 19 năm nay là giúp các bạn thành công đã nước Việt Nam rồi, bây giờ thành công tiếp tục ở bên Mỹ, đạt được những cái nguyện vọng của con cái và gia đình.
Vâng, có thể thấy rằng là đối với những nhà đầu tư Việt Nam thì chị Cathy không chỉ là người dẫn đường, còn là người bạn đồng hành trong suốt quá trình mà họ có thể đến được miền đất mà họ mong muốn. Và tôi nghĩ rằng là các bạn cũng thể nhìn thấy ở đây chúng ta có sự giúp đỡ từ ông Robert, từ chị Cathy, từ chị Amy và từ bà Wilka. Thì chúng ta hoàn toàn có thể tin tưởng rằng đồng tiền của các bạn khi đầu tư vào dự án này chắc chắn sẽ mang đến cho các bạn không chỉ lợi nhuận mà còn có cả cơ hội visa nữa. Vậy thì tại sao chúng ta không tìm hiểu một cách rõ ràng hơn? Có thể là rất nhiều người đang đặt câu hỏi là L1 visa và EB5 thì nó khác nhau như thế nào, đúng không ạ? Và có lẽ rằng quý vị và các bạn cần phải hiểu rõ sự khác biệt giữa hai loại visa này để có thể chắc chắn rằng khoản đầu tư của mình là đúng đắn và phù hợp với nhu cầu của cá nhân mỗi người. Câu hỏi này thì có lẽ là tốt nhất để cho Miss Wilka sẽ trả lời cho quý vị và các bạn. Miss Wilka, many investors, Vietnamese investors, they don't understanding the difference between L1 visa and EB5 Wilka. Could you please clarify it for them?
Definitely. EB5 visa is a U.S. permanent resident green card. It is the most direct way to get a U.S. United States green card for the applicant, the spouse, and all children under 21 years of age, with one investment of $500,000 US for the most part, that's the amount, into a EB5 project that's approved by the United States Immigration Agency. So it's one investment, gets the green card for the entire family unit, which in my mind is a great deal, especially when you compare other similar programs in Europe that are far higher than the 500,000. They're over €1 million. And some of them do not return your money. Some of them do not give you a permanent green card. And some of them, even if they give you a permanent residency, they don't lead to citizenship. The United States at the moment has the lowest program through citizenship through investment, because it does give you a green card for you and your family with a $500,000 investment. It's the lowest in the world at the moment. And in 5 years, you can apply for citizenship.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
In 5 years.
No problem. Just a simple paper. Very simple process. So we are, I think the United States has the best program in the world. That's why it's so popular. And that's why China has consumed the program and applied in thousands of families. Okay? The second country after China is Vietnam in demand. Very popular in Vietnam. The third country is India. And the fourth country is Mexico, which is where I do most of my EB5. Okay? So it's the most safest direct way to an EB5. However, because of demand and too many people applying, this is such a good program, right now USCIS has a delay. USCIS is the immigration agency, federal immigration agency. They have a delay for China, and now, as of May of this year, a delay for Vietnam. So that means that too many people are applying for the quota for that country.
Yeah.
So this is how popular Vietnam EB5 is. Now, many of our clients don't mind waiting. Why? Because they have small children. And they don't mind waiting 2 years, 3 years to get their children and their families to the United States. They can prepare, they can make arrangements, they can still visit while it's pending, they can make a home purchase, they can do whatever they want, set up a business. But some of our clients tell us, we want to go to the United States faster.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. So we have to come up with another solution. And that solution is easy. It's the L1 program. L1A, letter A, program. Which L1 is a temporary visa. It's not permanent residence. It's a 7-year temporary visa total.
Mm-hmm.
You get approved 1 year, then you file an extension permission for 3 years, and then you file another extension for 3 years. That's 7. What do we do for the Vietnamese, or anybody really, but the Vietnamese investor we're talking today? We file the L1, we get them into the United States in as little as 3 months from applying. 3 to 4 months, very quick, very quick. We get them approved, they can move, start making preparations to move. Then at 1 year, we file an extension, a petition to extend their visa for 3 years. It's still temporary, but in that 3 year, we file EB1C green card application. L1 has the ability to file a green card. EB1C is called multinational manager. And that is the version of the green card for L1 people. And that's what gets them the green card, and that takes 4 months. So you can see how quickly we can get to a green card with L1. So 3 months, a year later, 3 more months, so a year and 6 months, you can have a green card. Now, it's 3 processes, quick. Or EB5, 1 application, 1 investment, and wait 2 to 3 years to come into the country, to begin your life. And that's the difference. So it depends on how the family feels about waiting. Maybe they want to wait. I have clients that want to wait because they have things to do or obligations, or their parents want to take care of their parents, or whatever situation. But other families, we want to go fast. So that's why the L1 is here. L1, I will say, is a more, laborious or harder visa to work for the lawyers. And I'm going to depend a lot on my friend, colleague, Amy and Kathy. But you also have to have the right visa project for L1. Not all qualify. Not all investments qualify. So we have to be very careful, and the investor has to be very careful that what they're investing to get the L1 will qualify them to get to the finish line, which is EB1C green card. So as a lawyer, Amy and I will be working with the investor to make sure that they can get to the green card. And we're going to be joined together with the investor for a minimum of 3 years. I'm going to become their best friend.
If you have a long time to work with them,
Yes.
it's very easy to become friends.
Because you're worrying about the family and making sure, okay, I got you to the United States, congratulations, but I got to extend you and keep you in the United States, and then I have to get you to the green card. So we're going to be working together closely to make sure we have everything done very well. So I was always looking for a project that would be L1 strong to get them to the green card. So finally Robert shows up and in my life and I said, good, it's a great project. So, a person can do L1 with their own investment, let's say I want to establish a restaurant or nail salon or hair salon or real estate, but that may never get you to the L1 green card because it's not organized the correct way. And very disappointing that you put money and you can't even get an extension. And then what happens? You have to come back to Vietnam and what? So if I were an investor from another country, I don't understand the United States. Perhaps don't even speak the language, perhaps. I would be very nervous to do this on my own. It's like me coming to Vietnam to do a business and I don't know the language, the culture, the banking system, the society, school, real estate. I would fail, probably, unless I get a partner from Vietnam that I trust, right? That will help me manage my business until I learn. So I always say to foreign investors, always find a partner that will teach you and will manage your business for you until you can learn how to do business. And I know Vietnamese are very smart people and they're hard workers and they will learn quick. If anything Vietnamese know how to do is business. Trust me, I've been all over the world and it's amazing. So they just need a couple of years of time to understand. So what Robert provides is what we call in the United States, and I'm not sure there's a Vietnamese translation for that, but it's called turnkey. It's a package all put together. Like you just turn the key to open, that's it. It's called turnkey that way. It's already formed, structured, and managed. And you will reap the benefits of that. Meantime, you come to the US and you're going to learn very quickly about schools and living and banking, credit, how to buy a business, how to buy a shopping center, how to buy real estate, how to set up. You're going to learn. But in the meantime, Robert and his team will help you manage your investment. And that is worth gold. And that's why I like it.
Yeah, and so we can consider that Robert not only sell or providing opportunity to invest, but only a key to open package.
Yes,
right.
It's turnkey, and he'll do everything, and you will be learning and being safe and secure that your business is not going to fail because you don't understand. It's going to be managed. And then you have the freedom to learn and do other businesses. We want you to do other businesses, to learn and get into the community and contribute and buy something and establish your own business. But Robert's project, it's the like landing for the airline. You know, it's like a landing path for you to land. And we provide you that. And so that's what I like. And it's a perfect combination. I've seen a few other projects that provide this support, but not many. So I advise the investor to always find a partner when you're going into a new country, and then invest with a partner. And Robert's company will be your partner.
Yeah, so I think that it's very easy to understand that investor will feeling so it's scary to lose, scary of losing money in USA. Yes, and that's why Robert will help us, will help investor to make sure that their investment not only just buying a visa, but also make sure that the investment will turn into income and revenue and money for them. Right.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I was saying that before we started rolling the cameras. For me, as a lawyer, and Amy feels the same way. We want the visa, sure, but we want a good investment. I mean, what good is a visa if you're losing money? That doesn't make sense.
Việc kinh doanh thì mình có tiền, và những người kinh nghiệm như chúng tôi đã kinh doanh ở bên Mỹ mấy chục năm rồi và qua rất nhiều ngành, thì chúng tôi có thể hướng dẫn các bạn là hiện thời ngành nào làm được nhiều tiền nhất, hiện thời để phù hợp với cái vốn của các bạn, hiện thời thị trường đang cần cái gì. Nếu mà về bất động sản thì các bạn giờ này đang nên mua hay nên bán, Và nếu bất động sản thì vùng nào là mình có thể có tiền lời lãi nhanh nhất, và vùng nào nó ổn định, và vùng nào không nên đặt chân vào. Thì cái đó là các bạn rất cần thiết để mà hướng dẫn những cái kinh nghiệm như vậy. Đấy là chúng tôi rất là vui và được hướng dẫn như các bạn trong những vấn đề khi mà các bạn bước chân qua Mỹ, khi có tấm thẻ xanh, khi mà đã hội nhập vào xã hội Mỹ.
Vâng, như vậy là chúng ta có thể hiểu một cách đơn giản là làm như thế nào để có được visa thì đi tìm chị Ami và bà Wilka. Làm nào để làm tiền, đẻ ra tiền thì tìm ông Robert. Còn làm thế nào để ăn ngon, ngủ ngon, mua đồ ngon, mua đồ đẹp ở đâu thì hãy đi tìm chị Cathy. Đúng không ạ? Rõ ràng là chúng ta đã đây có rất nhiều các chuyên gia ở đây để giúp đỡ quý vị và các bạn trong việc làm thế nào để hòa nhập vào trên đất Mỹ và làm thế nào để sống được ở trên đất Mỹ một cách tốt nhất. I have to tell the audience that we can understand clearly that if you want to have green card, to have visa, go to find Miss Green Card and Miss Ami. If you want to make money, become turning into money, come to find Mr. Robert Frost and he will help you. And if you want to ask about where to buy food, where to buy clothes, how to make entertainment in USA, come to visit Mr. Yeah, they are an effective team to help you to live in USA better than
Turnkey.
Yeah, Turkey. Yes.
Chìa khóa trao tay.
Chìa khóa trao tay.
There is a translation.
We have two.
Một câu hỏi là có lẽ là nhiều quý vị khán giả rất muốn hỏi đối với luật sư Wilka, đó là đối với kinh nghiệm của chị đây thì có lẽ là chị Wilka sẽ giúp quý vị và các bạn hiểu rõ được, đó là một người Việt Nam sau khi apply vào visa L1 và visa MB5 thì sẽ cần phải chuẩn bị những giấy tờ gì và chuẩn bị những bước như thế nào để tiến hành khoản đầu tư đó của mình, đúng không ạ? Và câu hỏi này thì có lẽ là xin mời cả chị Wilka và chị Ami cũng sẽ giúp quý vị và chúng ta có thể hiểu rõ hơn. Okay, Ms. Wilka, the investor now understanding the definition of L1 visa, of EB5 visa, and how to invest in the Mr. Robert Frost company, but they will want to understanding more about step by step to apply L1 visa, EB5 green card, what they have to prepare about the documentary, about the amount of money and others. Would you please help them?
Yes. We start with EB5 first.
Yeah.
EB5. The EB5 visa requires that you invest $500 United States dollars in well, it could be 500 or 1,000, 1 million.
Right.
You confused me. Wait. $500,000 or $1 million, depending where you invest, the location of where you invest. Most regional centers, and let me explain that is in a minute, will help you invest $500,000, and that's where the majority of the EB5 is invested in the lower amount, the $500,000. The reason we have two investment amounts, $500,000 or $1 million, is depending on where the business is located. If the investment is put in an area of the United States that is designated as an area that needs more money, more investment to develop, then the government will allow $500,000 to participate in EB5 in a project located in that area. If you invest in, I don't know, I guess Beverly Hills, some very rich area that doesn't need money to develop, is considered a rich area. That area will require you to invest $1 million. So you can see where the government is trying to allow you a better, lower investment if you invest in an area that needs the investment. Makes sense, okay? Regional centers are companies that are formed under the approval of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, the Federal Immigration Agency. They give a permit or approval for these companies to form called regional centers. And these companies, the only reason that they exist is to process EB5 investment and manage them for the investor. participate in the program. Okay? Regional centers have many different projects. Some of them are doing hotels, housing, parks, roads, railroads. It could be any kind of infrastructure. But in this case, Mr. Robert has an EB5 investment project through his regional center. He owns a regional center in Texas, and they're having an investment in a water recycling treatment facility plant to service the oil field industry in Texas. So that's his EB5 program. It qualifies for the lower investment of $500,000. Why? Because the facility where you're going to invest to build, it's in an area designated as needing improvement and money, so it's a lower amount. So that's the amount for EB5. Once you decide that you like the investment and you would like to invest, you will then immediately hire an attorney. Hopefully that will be me. Be my privilege and honor to be your attorney. And we will help you sign all the documents, contracts that you will need to sign in order to become a limited partner in Mr. Robert's project for EB5. So essentially he's taking a group of investors, everybody putting $500,000 into a pool fund, which then will make a loan to the developer of the facility. So you become a group, gets their money together, makes a commercial bank loan to the facility, and the facility will use your money to build and operate and create 10 American jobs per investor. The visa requires an EB5 that every $500,000 or investor generate 10 jobs for Americans. That's the rule. It's called job creation visa. Some people don't know that. It's called job creation visa. Who creates the jobs? Mr. Robert. He has the responsibility to create the jobs for all his investors. So that means that if he has 10 investors, he has to create 100 jobs, 10 for each investor. But you don't have to worry about that because he has it. He will do it. It's in his business plan. It is in his management plan to create that for you. Okay? So that's EB5. Once you hire the lawyer, we will help you understand the legal documents that you're signing. You will read it with us. In this case, Miss Amy in Vietnam is going to help me. You can't sign a document you don't understand. You will understand your document. That's our job. You will then sign and subscribe and send your money. We will help you with that process of sending your money to the United States to make your investment. I will be working with Amy and her law firm to help me with that process. We've done it before. Then, once your money is in, then I will begin to work with you to prove that the money that you invested comes from lawful legal activities. It's called source of legal funds. I know, you know, that our investors are lawful people, right? We don't represent bad people. We don't represent criminals. We don't represent illegal money. All my clients are business people. They're families, they're good families, but the government doesn't know you. They only know me. And I have to prove that the money that you invested is lawful, meaning it was earned legally. Through how? Your job, your work, your company, inheritance, gift from your parents, because they earned it from their work, sale of home, real estate, sale of land, or a loan from a bank. There's many different ways to get to your $500,000. Depending how, I will work with you expertly and legally to prove it with documents. And why? Because the US government agency will never interview you when they're looking at your file. I have to prove it in paper. I have to provide many, many papers to make my case for you. Because they can't ask you a question, okay? They will not. They don't have the system to do it. You have one shot at getting it done. One, only one. So we have to be experts in doing this. I have 28 years of legal experience as an attorney, and I have at least 18 as an immigration. And I've been doing EB-5 since 2006. That's what, 12 years? So I've done hundreds of EB-5, and I know, and my staff knows what we need. We know what we need. The question is, how do I get it from you? Especially if I don't know your language. So it creates challenges, but that's why we partner with people like Robert, Kathy, and people like Amy and her law firm, and other people in this table, like Vivian V, who will help me do that. And then once I get it, I will say yes, no, good, no, and prepare a very detailed package. It's about this big that will be provided to the government. The government then will review my presentation, all right? Very extensive presentation. I would write a letter to the government explaining your case and why you win. Why I win for you, okay? How you meet the law. Very important that I understand how to do that. The government will review that and make a decision. And then if they like, they will approve if I did my job. And then they will send me an approval notice on the United States government letterhead. And we're very happy when we get that. It says approved. At that moment, we all celebrate. We will call you and we'll drink champagne and celebrate.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Because
2 o'clock in the morning.
I will call you.
I
I will call you at 2 o'clock.
And don't call me tomorrow.
I'll call you at 2 o'clock in the morning because we approved. So then we then have to go into a second process, which is getting your appointment with the United States Embassy or consular officer in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh to get your visa, your green card stamped. And that process takes a few months for us to get that done. You don't have to worry, we'll get it done for you. We'll notify you when you have your appointment. You go to the consulate with your approval notice and your passport and your birth certificate and other original documents. And then you will have a 5-minute interview, about 5 minutes, with the consul, but you're approved. And then you will get your green card and they'll say, welcome to America. And that's what we want to hear. And then you'll get on a plane and you come to see me with your green card. And many post it on Facebook.
I'm sure, of course, many people will do that.
Yeah, I got one yesterday from Argentina. So that's the process for EB-5. Once you're in the country, you're a permanent resident of the United States. You go get Social Security card, very important. You go to get your driver license. You buy a home, you put your children in school, and you start your new life. And that's what happens. And Kathy will help you with all of that. Then 2 years after you are approved, we have to do a second filing. It's called 829. 829 filing, which is removal of condition. Why? Because your green card was approved with the condition that he create your jobs. And then you have to prove the government that you did create those jobs. And you go back, I will go back and file that. You don't have to do anything because I get all my information from Mr. Robert and his company that's managing the business for you. So I will get it from him, I will do the filing, and eventually they'll send you a permanent green card. No interview. And that's it. 5 years after your first green card, not the second, first one. 5 years after that, you can apply for US passport. You can become a naturalized citizen of the United States. And the important thing that I want people to know is that the way the green cards work is, let's say you have mother, father, and two children, two brothers, okay? You don't have everybody be citizen at the same time. Some of them can do it and some don't. Or all of them or none. You can stay green card 20, 30 years. Maybe your children want a passport, but you don't. Maybe your wife wants it or husband doesn't, for whatever family reason. But it gives you the flexibility to choose who's going to get the passport. Very important for people to know that. Okay? So that's the EB-5. Like I said, it's the most direct way to a green card. And all I have to prove with your help is that your investment funds are lawful, from lawful business activities. And that's not that difficult because our clients are all lawful people, right? Mm-hmm. I think all my clients are lawful people. I'm convinced they are. Okay, that's the EB-5. L1, like I said, is a temporary visa. Temporary meaning it's not a green card. Green card is permanent. Temporary visa, 7 year. 1, 3, 3, right? All right. L1 means executive transfer. The idea is that you have or you work for a Vietnam company. There has to be a Vietnam company that decides to expand in the United States, go abroad, make an affiliate company in the United States. Why? Because it wants to transfer you over there to run the US subsidiary or affiliate. That's why it's called executive transfer. I have to prove 3 things. That's why I have to work a little harder. EB-5, I only prove 1 thing, lawful source of funds. L1, I prove 3 things. More work for me. I prove the existence of the Vietnam company.
Okay.
Registration, name, who owns it, what it does. We have restaurants, we import seafood, we are, whatever we do, beauty products, beer, whatever we end up doing. Miss Amy and her law firm will help me do that. I have to prove the existence of the Vietnam company. There's some documents that I will need to prove. Some of them are company registration, government permits. I have to show what it does, location, office, even photographs of the building where you office. Why? Why? Because nobody from the United States government will travel to knock on your door and see if it's real. They can't, they won't. So I have to convince them it's real with documents. And we show even pictures. Google Map, everything, whatever we can, okay? Then I show that the company operates. It sells something. Why? I do it with documentation, sales, taxes, evidence of operation, bank statements. We will work with Amy and her team on that. Then the second thing I have to prove, it's what are you gonna do in the United States? That you establish a US subsidiary affiliate. So one company connected to the other, okay? I have to form the company for you. My law firm will register your US company, okay? I will then make sure that you open a bank account. And that is your corporate account. That's where you're gonna put your money to invest. And that company, I have to prove what it's going to do in the United States. Well, in this case, it's going to be investing in Robert's projects. I have to come up with a business plan to explain what it will do. We have that in place already. Who's going to do that? But I will review to make sure it's done right. Okay? So I'm responsible for the whole thing. Then I will provide evidence that the money was deposited. That's called in English funding your company. Okay? And the use of that money. If you bought trucks, the paperwork. If you bought a building, the paperwork. If you bought inventory, the paper, okay? Whatever it is. And then I have to prove that you're coming to the United States to be an executive, a manager. You cannot have an L1 and be the person that's making coffee or cleaning the bathroom or doing low-level, everyday job. You can't be the driver of the truck. They won't allow that. They want you to be the manager, general manager, top level of your company. Okay? So I have to show that that is your job and that other people will do the other things. And that's already planned in Robert's plan, job, business plan. And the last thing I need to prove, and this is where we get in trouble sometimes, because it's not clear, in many countries it's not very clear, that you are an executive or high-level manager in Vietnam. Both. So sometimes we get in trouble because we can't find documents because you're the owner. And sometimes, well, how do I prove I own and I work there? Well, there's ways to prove it. Many, many different ways. So then I have to prove that you function as a general manager in your company. You own it and function as a general manager. Or maybe your father owns it and you're the general manager. Or maybe your aunt or uncle. So those are the three things I have to prove. If I do that, I win. I win the visa. Then a year later, I have to extend it. And I have to prove that the company in the United States is doing what it said it was going to do, because I told them, promise, and I have to meet my promise. And then I have to prove that the Vietnam company continues to work without you. If I don't prove that, I lose. Okay? And they will allow me to extend it. The last step is the green card, EB1C. Remember that, EB1C. EB1C is a green card for L1. It's essentially the same proof, but higher, tougher. I have to fight harder for you. What they want to see is everything the same, but you're growing your business. They want to see that you came to America, to US, to grow your business. So you started maybe with, let's say example, one restaurant, and now you have 2 restaurants. You expanded. Maybe you decided to open another place. Maybe you came and you opened an import-export company, and now you have another facility. They want to see growth. Because the argument that I will make for you is that you need to get a green card. Because if you do not get a green card, your company is not going to do well. Because you're the key to the success of the company. Without you, it don't work. So you need to give me a green card for him. Because he grew the company successfully. Mm-hmm. Created jobs, and that will win. Now, if you don't grow the company, it's just the same. They're like, okay, we'll give you 7 years, but then bye-bye. Hire an American manager to do it. No, you have to make a difference because you're the manager, right? So that's the story. And I think when the investor understands this story that I'm telling you, which is the truth, but when they understand what I have to prove, they help me get there. They help me because they know what I have to say and prove. So that's how L1 works. So as you can see, comparing to EB5 is a lot more work.